What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Leg It Podcast. It's me, Andy Grant, and we are bringing the guests back. What better guest to kick us off than Mothi, player 200 from Squid Game?
What's happening, people? You good? Yes, and?
How are we?
Yeah, man, good, bro. Not bad, not bad. Cold, innit?
It's freezing, lad.
Yeah.
It's absolutely freezing. So, to kick things off, lad, before we even talk about Squid Games, lad, tell me a little bit about you, because the first I knew of you was in that hotel in London.
Yeah.
But then on the back of it, we've got loads of mutual mates who go, how do you know Mothi and that? So,
Yeah.
obviously we became mates and we got clearly loads of people. But tell me a little bit about yourself before the Squid Game then.
So, I mean, I've always had a background in performing arts. So as soon as I left school at like 15, 16, went straight into, acting. Done a lot of theatre work. I was in a band as well. When I was 17, I was in a band called Fade 2. So done a lot of gigs, a lot of shows. And really it was just a mixture of trying to balance out like working, having a job, and obviously doing all my acting and doing all my music like when I was young and that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably where like we've probably got like mutual friends from. Do you know what I mean? From like just like people who have maybe done like a bit of hosting, done a little bit of acting, done a little bit of comedy, you know, and obviously probably like a few like sports people as well. I mean, we're both from Liverpool.
Yeah, it's a village, lad, isn't it? It's tiny.
Yeah, everyone knows everyone, don't they?
And where are you? North End, South End?
South End, baby. The best end. Yeah, so I'm from Liverpool 8, from Torquay. Grew up in Toxteth. And yeah, man, life's been good there. Life's been good. Myrtle Street, Georgian Quarter. You know, and people can say whatever they want about Liverpool 8. I seen some video yesterday about some Deliveroo driver, and he goes round the UK, and he was in Liverpool, and he goes, everyone's been telling me to stay away from a certain area. And I was dying to know what the area was. And then he just went, oh, that's it. It's called Toxteth. And I was like, lad.
I'm surprised he never said Bootle.
Well, do you know what? Look, there's loads of bad areas.
There's good people everywhere, man.
Yeah, true.
So bringing it up to kind of, I'm guessing, end of last year then, when did the kind of whole Squid Game become an option for you? Did you watch the original show?
Yeah, so watched the original show.
Thought it was brilliant, by the way, the original.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It just had everything. Do you know what
I didn't get into it at first because it was dubstep on it. It was the thing with the... Yeah. I thought, am I going to get into this? But then once you get past that, like, I absolutely loved it. Like,
yeah, you know what's mad? Like the main character, right? He reminds me a little bit like me because I'm a single dad. I've got a daughter. Do you know what I mean? And I'm having a back and forth where I don't get to see her all the time. And his job, what he had was he was in sales. And I'm in sales right now. I'm kind, and he was unlucky. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, I was obviously massive fan of Squid Game. It was just like the characters of the show and, the whole like story, and, it was gruesome. It was gruesome, but it kept you on the edge of your seat. So, and, obviously being a big fan of it, I'm just sitting in work. Next minute, I'm just scrolling through Instagram. And then this ad just pops up. Do you have what it takes to win $4.56 million? And I just see like a face of one of the guards. And then I just scrolled up and it said, Squid Game, the challenge. Applicants can now apply. And I looked at it and I said to myself, I'm going to apply for this. And I know for a fact I'm going to get on it. I applied for it. And I swear down, yeah, it was like within 2 days. Within 2 days, I just got a phone call from someone from Studio Lambert. Hi, Mothi, you're okay? We saw you. We read your application. We saw your video. Oh, my God. We really, really like you. And would you be up for a Zoom meeting? And then that was it then. Had the Zoom meeting. And then, obviously just talking in general. They're asking me questions. And then it just went from one Zoom meeting to another one. And then meeting a different person, and then that all happened last summer, and then obviously it was
summer.
Yeah, last summer, yeah.
Wow.
Last August.
As I knew about it from start to finish in like I think end of November, December.
Really, yeah. So how did they get in contact with you?
They messaged me on Instagram.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think they must have had the bulk of the contestants,
Yeah.
and they had to now, click they had to tick the disabled box. Maybe you needed someone with one leg, and was like, "What we get in, lad?" Yeah, no, because they asked me, so I still had to do the Zoom with them,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to fill in an application. I just had a Zoom with them, and then they cut it down and they sent the best 2 minutes of an half an hour chat to the main producers or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I done that and then got through it. God, so you knew you were going on it from the summer then?
Yeah, so mine was, I had to get
That's a long time to stay quiet. I'm just thinking I only had 6 weeks really to stay quiet, where you had 6 months.
Yeah, I had a long time to stay quiet. Obviously your mum, your dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my sister, obviously they own you. I mean, the family, aren't they? You're going to be telling your family, but I kept it quiet from all my mates who I've known for years and years. I didn't even tell them. But yeah, there was obviously they needed a lot of documents. You've got to get, how it is, ID and this and that and whatever. And then yeah, once I got on the show, then that was it. Then it was a trip up to London, wasn't it? Tower Bridge in January.
Yeah.
And that's where I bumped into you.
So on the Patreon episode that I gave my little story, so what I remember from that, and I want to hear what you thought of it. It only really kind of kicked in how big it was going to be when we got into that hotel, and I thought, wow, I've not really properly had a good think about this, because this is going to be mental, because they were telling you, weren't they, it's going to be the biggest show, the most prize money.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy, and it's on Netflix. But I don't know, maybe naively, I just thought, yeah, it'll be fine. And then got to that hotel, and there's obviously hundreds and hundreds of people there from all over the world. I was like, wow. And then you had to get registered, and they were dead keen on no one to speak, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of told the story, I might have said it wrong, but what from your point of view? I remember sitting there, and obviously you're a larger-than-life character, and I heard your Scouse accent, and I was like, is there a Scouser here? And then you walk past me, what's happening, lad? Right? And the producer, one of the runners went, how do you know him? And you was like, everyone knows it. He was like, that's Andy. You said something like that. I was like, hello, lad, you're all right.
I know, you were just sat there like, what? Who's this kid? Do you know what? The thing is, Andy, yeah, right? And we'll talk about what happened in the show. But exactly how you've just said it, what time did you get there to the hotel?
So late, about 4 or 5 o'clock, I think it must have been.
See, I got there later than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got there at I think it might have been at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, because I was just sitting around for ages waiting.
Yeah. You was upstairs.
Yeah.
So I've walked into the hotel and just seen people with just COVID masks on everywhere. Yeah. It was silent. And I've walked in and just been like, yo, what's happening? You okay? And they were like, hi, what's your name? And here's my name like that. And they were like, oh, do you know what? You have to be quiet and you're not allowed to talk to any of the guests and things like that. I went, oh, really? Oh, okay, then sound. So then it was I was like, what is this? Because I'm not used to this. Obviously, the whole COVID thing happened where we all had to be quiet in certain places. But we kind of we moved on from that. But because it's Squid Game and there's all players coming from all over the world, obviously I know that they have to take have their safety measures and stuff like that, and they've got to have the masks on. But I've just gone in there and literally I sat down next to a Scottish woman who lives in Australia, and she was just giving it all that as well. So I was just like, where are you from? And she was like, oh, bloody hell. Are you a Scouser? Giving it all bloody Scouser and all this. And I was just like, oh, shut up. So me and her were having a little, a bit of banter, obviously getting told off, having a bit of banter, getting told off. But everyone around us were just like, fuck it. If these are talking, we're going to talk. And the next minute we had a little circle of us and we were all talking, getting told off every 5 minutes. Then we were talking and they were coming over saying, oh, it's you, isn't it? The Scouser again. The loud Scouser we all know about you now. I was going, oh, come on. So really, to be honest with you, I don't know if that was a good thing or it was a bad thing, but I've just gone in there and just thought, well, look, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to come here and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I think it was before the food, or I can't remember what it was, I went upstairs and just saw you sat there and I was like, there's another Scouser here. He's all right. And I was like, I know his face. I knew your name, obviously. And then I've obviously watch your podcast and stuff like that because I know Kieran, don't I?
That's it, yeah.
From years ago. And then you've just got one of those faces, haven't you? Do you know what I mean?
And I thought, though, again, like, exactly like you thinking, what's going on here? I thought, shit, is this a good or a bad thing? Do they think that we know each other? Are they going to try and split us up? Are they going to try and kill one of us off? Because you just don't know, do you? It was a proper out your comfort zone moment. And I was like,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was the same as you, thinking, happy days, another Scouser here type thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was not. I did ask. I was like, is there anyone else here from Liverpool? And they were like, oh, we don't know. So I was like, son. And then when I saw you, I was proper made up. I was like, yes, because I was literally surrounded by American accents.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a lot of people here from America.
Yeah, loads, yeah.
You know.
Did you see Amanda then at any point? At what point did you know Amanda was there from Liverpool?
Good thinking.
Because I think you did tell me a few days later that there's another Scouser here, but I didn't really speak to Amanda that much.
I'm trying to think now. Did I meet Amanda before red light, green light? No,
No, you must have, because I'm sure you said to me in the hotel there's another girl from Liverpool here. Like you'd seen her in the lift or something.
That's the one. That's it. Yeah. So when we was going down for our lunch, it was breakfast, lunch, or tea. It was one of them. She was in the lift, and then I just heard her accent, and I went, another Scouser, and she was like, what? I was like, where are you from? And then she was just like, I'm from Huyton. I was like, no way, I'm from Torquay. And then we just started speaking. I was like, there's another lad as well here as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can all meet up together.
Yeah.
We might be able to form a little alliance, a little Scouse alliance, who knows? And then that was it. We had that interaction in the lift, and then I don't think I saw it until after red light, green light. Yeah.
How did you find that whole hotel? It felt a little bit like lockdown again. It was literally go to your room, don't leave your room. You got told what time to go for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Yeah. And then when you needed your headshots done, you got your trackie. That was it. What were you doing in that point?
Do you know what? So I knew that I had to isolate for 3 nights. So I made sure that I bought like a resistant band with me, because I thought I'll just work out in the room. But it was one of them things. It was just like it does get to you a little bit, because you're literally just stuck in there. All right, you've got your phone, you can talk to your family, you can FaceTime certain people, but it was one of those type of things where it was just, I don't know, it's weird. I don't like. Do you know what? I'm just one of those type of people that you can't tell me what to do. Do you know what I mean? And I was like that. I was just itching, like I need to get out of this room, and I just need to get.
Yeah, you wanted to start, don't you?
Yeah. I just want to get into these games.
And there was so much like, interpretation, thinking what is going to happen these next few days. It was like, I don't know, like a kid before Christmas type thing. One, it was like, I just want it to be Christmas now type thing. Yeah,
I could hear like loads of other people in like the rooms next to me.
Well, that's the other thing. You start thinking, are people cheating already? Getting to know each other when we're not allowed. Are people talking? You know what I mean, and all that.
That's what I was thinking. That's another thing. I was like, these could be like all meeting up. Like, you know what? Let's all just form our little alliances now, and maybe when we get out there, we can help each other and do this and do that. But yeah, I could hear people like at late hours in rooms and stuff like that. But did you hear some of the stories about what happened in the hotels and that?
Nah.
So some people sneaked out of the hotel to go for a walk around London. They all got clocked, and they all got sent back to wherever they were from.
Well, so they didn't even start in the game?
They didn't even start the game. Some people were going in other people's rooms and getting bladdered. They were other things that I heard, and they all got nicked and they all got sent home. Wow. And then obviously the other one was people were getting positive COVID tests. And did
they have extras on waiting to fill in?
Yeah, so there's a lad who I know, and he said he literally got called the last minute, and they said, are you able to come down to London like tonight?
Wow.
Because
someone's
dropped out. So there was loads of stories.
Do you know what? I do feel a bit harsh on that. If you've come all the way from America or Australia, you've never been to London, and they're saying to you, you've got to sit in this hotel for 3 days. It's like you going to New York now. You've never been.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'd probably sneak out as well, to be honest.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Do you know what I mean?
1,000,000%. It crossed my mind a few times. I was like, I could just leave here right now. Yeah, throw a hood up, my woolly hat and stuff like that. Yeah, just I've got a different like a Nike ski mask, and I could just walk straight out of this hotel. But then I thought to myself, there's 456 of us here. Do you know what I mean? So, and they've got a lot of people downstairs and that, and if somebody sees you, you've just got your opportunity.
I like you say, you know, do you reckon there was 100,000 or so applied? You know, you've done the hard bit by getting on the show. As much as you do want to get out, there is that bit of you thinking, it's 3 days, man, let's just fucking...
It's different for us.
Yeah,
we're from the UK.
Go there every day,
all the time. We're in London all the time. I've been to Tower Bridge. I've been all around London, so it's
more for the foreigners, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When did it kind of get real for you? Because for me, I think once you kind of went and done your headshots and that, and then like got your uniform, I was like, this is fucking mad. Do you know what I mean?
When I got my number.
Yeah.
When I got that number, and I was, and when they started, when obviously we went downstairs, got our trackies, got our numbers, and then literally when they started taking our stuff off us, you know what I mean, like our bags and our phones and that's when I thought to myself, I was like, shit, like this is really happening, like what's gonna, like what is this? And like, you know, there's just so much, there's so many thoughts going through your head, and just like you're looking around at people and you're just like, I could be the winner, I could be standing next to the winner, you know, who's this guy? And there's so many things that just run through your head, isn't there, Andy?
There's so many personalities there as well. I think like I said it on the podcast that I done about my experience. There was some people where, don't get me wrong, they might be nice people, but just not my people. Like not in a million years I'd ever want to go for a pint with them. I'd ever want to be around them. Could be lovely people, but just not my people.
Yeah.
And I think more than anything, I realised it was a social experiment. It's like just to see how people get on, different nationalities, different cultures, men, women, ages, you know, it was. And so straight away there was part of me that was thinking, because although people might see the podcast or see me as a motivational speaker, unless you know me, I'm quite quiet, you know what I mean? I'm not like one of these, like I'm not like you, you are.
And
I get on with people like you.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm not like, with my mates and that I am, but, so I was a little bit like, just keeping myself to myself, but then you start overthinking it, thinking, shit, I need to start maybe getting to know people for the alliance kind of, and you know, but then you start worrying, thinking, what is it we've got to do? There's just so much going through, and it's all brand new. You didn't know anyone. Yeah, it's just mad, wasn't it?
You know what? Right? There's a group of people that are in the show, and I don't really keep in touch with them. I'm in like a WhatsApp group where some people will talk sometimes, and you'll put a comment in and they'll like it and they'll be like whatever. But they kept their group from when you and me first went into the art. Remember, we was in the same tent, where we were in the same batch of people, and there was a group of Americans, and they kept that group all the way through till like the later episodes. Do you know what I mean? So they literally helped each other, you know, and it worked for them. You know what I mean? There was other groups as well that's in the show where you can see they've all progressed together, and then it's got to a certain point where one by one they've all just been you know what I mean? They've all just gone like he's gone. So, but it like I said, they've helped each other get to like a certain point in the show. And then it's like, well, that's it. No, it's each
every
man
for himself.
That's it. You know what I mean? So,
what was the journey like? So we get up at what times? Like 3-4 in the morning or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Freezing, walking through the hotel in our green trackies, and then obviously I was 189, you were 200, so we were in like the same batch, weren't we?
Yeah.
Get put on the coaches, and I sat next to a girl. I think she was from New York, California. She ends up going out in like the biscuit one. I can't think of her name though. So I'm sitting on the coach to it, and again, you're not meant to speak, but like, you know, how are you, you know, blah blah blah, talking away. We have what, 2-hour journey, hour and a half,
something
maybe, something like that.
Yeah. Bedfordshire, was it Bedfordshire?
I think so, yeah. Don't know where we're going, do we?
Nah, no idea.
Pitch black. And again, you're thinking, do I get my head down? Is it going to be a long day? Do I try and start talking to people, or again, all these are constantly going through your head. Do you remember who you sat next to and all that then, do you?
So there was a lad behind me, Alex from New Zealand. And me and him were like that.
Yeah.
Just from, do you know what? I met him when we was queuing up for food, right? And then he was in our batch again. And then I was just talking to him, and me and him just stayed like that together. So we was on the coach, we was talking. And now thinking about it, like, other than him, I can't even remember who else was on that coach on the way there. Because the day before, I don't even think I hardly slept as well, Andy.
Really, yeah.
I was running on adrenaline. I was running on pure adrenaline. Like, I don't even know where we're going, what's going to come next, like who these people are. And it's just...
Do you know what I learned about that initial experience, and even before the game start, what I learned about myself is like I say, I'm not really loud, but I'm confident in the sense that I'll talk to anyone. But you know what I learned about that? I think I'm a good people person, because straight away I've got lots to talk about in regards to, for example, the one leg. It's straight away, it's like an icebreaker. It's in the sense, like, if someone sees me in shorts or whatever, it's like, or I can make a joke about it, and straight away it breaks the ice, and there's that kind of common ground. Because no one knew I had one leg, I felt like I never really had my, like, my little pull-in type thing, you know, which was a bit weird. And I felt like, wow, maybe I'm not as confident as I think I am, because ordinarily it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm Andy, you know, I don't know, something about running or having one leg, or I don't know. And then obviously no one knew I had one leg, so I just felt like there was I wasn't as confident maybe as you to just go, I am Mothi, do you know what I mean?
Did you tell them? You know, obviously they knew.
The production stuff and that staff obviously knew, but no, I didn't. Like, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't going up to someone going, all right, I'm Andy, I've got one leg. No one knew, do you know what I mean? So it was only when you got chatting to people and people said, oh, what do you do? And I said, oh, motivational speaking and stuff like that. So yeah, I learned that about myself, that maybe I'm not like as...
I feel like you never got your opportunity. You never got your moment to tell that.
Yeah.
And it would have been great, because some of the stories...
Yeah, I can imagine.
People's backstories.
I can imagine everyone's got great ones, though, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone's got great backstories, but your one as well. It's like, you know, it's something that, like, people they'll be engaged in it, you know what I mean? They'll just...
Well, that's why I thought, and we'll come on to it now as we get into the kind of starting it, I thought that because I didn't have to apply for it, and there was like, I got an actual mic on I thought they must want me to at least go a little bit far into it. They, you know, do like a player study thing on me. I was thinking, yeah, like, do you know what I mean? But obviously, it never worked out like that. So
yeah.
So we get into this big air hanger, probably like 8 in the morning now. Like anyone who's done any TV, a lot of waiting around, isn't there, and all that. Again, they're trying not to get you to speak to everyone, but obviously you are. We end up getting in the same tent, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's just like a bit of a, in this big, massive airfield, a bit of a tent. Everyone's gets split up. We get our blood packs on, microphones on, and it's like just hurry up and wait, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thing, you're just waiting around.
Long johns, 2 pairs of socks.
Yeah. So that's one thing which I think the show definitely, you don't know. It was cold, wasn't it? It was really cold. They were like, put 2 pairs of socks on, put long johns on, thermal top, and your trackie. And we were thinking, God, and they were like, there's going to be a lot of waiting around all day. I didn't realise how cold it was going to be. They give out hand warmers, didn't they? And we're all just sitting in this bunker. There was a heater there in the corner.
Yeah.
Everyone's like huddled around this little heater. Had some breakfast. And that's when I think the first time you started speaking to people.
Yeah.
But I think, again, already I noticed the difference in me and you. Maybe I'm just not a nice person, because some of it, lad, I was just a bit like, it sounds terrible because I've got a few mates who are Americans, but there was a big gang of Americans. I was like, they're going to annoy me if I spend too long with them straight away.
Yeah,
whereas I see you just floating, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then like you'd float back to me and I'd be like, what's happening, lad? And then you'd float again, and then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did you find that?
Do you know what, to be honest with you, I was just excited to be there. You know, and the fact that there was so many different nationalities there, it's nice to just talk to them and just introduce yourself, find out a little bit about them and where you're from, and like, hey man, I'm from Texas and I'm from ATL, and where are you from? And you know, I'm Korean and this and blah, and you're just like, wow. And then he's from Yorkshire and this person's from Scotland, and Wolf, the gladiator.
Wolf, that's what I mean. I spoke to him quite a bit,
Yeah.
He was a nice guy, yeah. So anyone who remembers Gladiators, Wolf, who had the big long hair, now bald, like 70 odd.
Yeah.
He got flown over from New Zealand, which was mad.
Yeah, a lot of people like who recognised him, especially the English. Like there was a lot of older like women and men who was there they were all just like, hey, do you remember Wolf? And I was like, of course I remember him. I grew up watching him in Gladiators. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like you're excited, you know, the adrenaline's running and all this, and you're like, and the first thing, what I think that the one thing that everyone was thinking is like, what's your strategy going to be for red light, green light? Because we all knew that it was going to be red light, green light the first game, and it was just looking at everyone just doing all mad stances and walks and everything. Do you know what I mean?
So when we got the shout and we went like, go from the tent, you're going to go and look at the set for the first time, I think that's when they kind of used that initial reaction, didn't they? So we all walk into the set, and fair play to them, it looked fucking mega, didn't it? It was unbelievable. Like the money and must have cost and the setup, it was incredible. And it just looked exactly like the real Squid Games, didn't it?
Yeah.
We walk in, get our reaction. And I think that's when I started speaking to people. Like you say, I'm not like you, I can walk over to a gang of people, but the people who I was standing next to, I'd then start talking to and became kind of pally with them. This girl from New Zealand was really nice. Still speak to her on Instagram. We walk in, and then for me, this is when I start getting a little bit, because they do the health and safety brief, and they talk about the rules of the show. And I think that's when everyone went, well, hang on a minute. So they tell us that we've got to get from one line to the next. You've got 5 minutes. But then they say the cameras are going to come out and you're going to start getting filmed. But you've got to still stand in that.
For several minutes.
Well, they said several.
Several, yeah.
Some of it was 40 minutes in between takes, wasn't it? It was like, it was a long time. And I was like, wow, this is going to be mad, this. How did you feel when... I mean, listen, it's TV. You said you've done a lot of work and acting and TV and stuff on stage.
Yeah.
You know it's not going to be exactly like on TV. Like, I get that, you know what I mean? But there's a big difference in saying 5 minutes and then several minutes in between each little go. Do you know what I mean? It was...
When someone says to me several minutes, that means 7 minutes. That's what that means to me. Or in and around, like, you know, I don't know, 10 minutes or whatever. But the thing for me... I honestly, I just had no idea that it was going to take that long. I mean, I looked around and I seen there was a lot of players, and I was thinking to myself, like, a lot of players are going to go out here. I looked around and I was like, loads of players are going to go out here. But what is the best strategy? What's the best thing that we can? Oh yeah, because I remember we went out first.
Yeah.
And then we all went back inside, then we went back out.
Yeah.
So when we all went back to our groups, that's when I was watching you, like doing your little step to the side, I'm going to do this. And then people were like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And obviously for me, because I'd done a lot of stage, I was in a show called Bouncers. And there's parts of the show where you've got to stand still like this. There's a scene where we've got to stand like this for at least half an hour. Now, when you're rehearsing, and you stand like that, once the scene's done, you've got to do it again. If you mess up your lines, go back to the beginning, do it again. So I was already used to standing like this. So that was my strategy going in. It was much as stand like that. Just walk, stand, walk, stand. But obviously, when it started, that first freeze that we had to do, in my mind, I was thinking, oh my God. Like, I don't even know if I can do this. In my mind, it's like, I can't do this. I don't think I can do it. My hands are absolutely freezing. I couldn't feel my toes. I'm stood there like that. My eyes, I felt like I was hallucinating. Did you get that? Where your vision's just going everywhere and then you're looking at the floor and the floor's got all these little dots.
So bright as well, wasn't it?
Oh, it was too bright. I was just there and I was just like, oh my God. And then you stand still for 10 minutes. The camera crew come out. They're all going around you for another 10 minutes. And I'm thinking...
That drone comes down.
Exactly. But after the camera crew, I was like, okay, she's going to turn around now and we're going to move. And then we stood there for another 5 minutes. Then the drone came flying over us for like another 7 minutes or whatever. And then we stood still for like another 10 minutes. Yeah. And then she turned around and then we finally went. And then boom, the same thing again. And I was just like, nah, like, this is torture. Red light, green light was absolute torture, you know. But the only thing that I can say is It was what was his name? The guy that come out and spoke.
Like the producer one or the director or something.
Richard or something like that. His name was. He was like, "Hi, my name's Richard, and yes, I'm the producer of Squid Game: The Challenge." And he was like, "So you guys are going to be playing for $4.56 million, and obviously with that amount of money, it's not going to be easy. If it was easy, then anyone could do it. But no, we're looking for someone who is willing to go there, who's willing to push himself to the limits." To win this. And I thought, okay, then let's see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he literally was talking about red light, green light.
Yeah. We'll come on to that bit in a bit, but I said on the Patreon episode we done about mine, there was a lot of that where in the end I was saying that exact thing to people. There was a lot of bitter people who got out when I went out.
Yeah.
And I was saying to them, what the fuck did you expect? I'm not just going to give you £4.5 million. Like, so what? You were cold, yeah? Fucking so what? And like, there's a lot of people who didn't, I think, grasp like that whole thing. They're not just going to give you it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did you feel then when we started going? We've probably been going an hour or two. And they were like, medic!
Oh my God, that was just crazy, lad. That was absolutely crazy. I wasn't surprised, to be honest with you. I wasn't surprised because it was absolutely freezing in there. At some point, I was like, I think I'm going to collapse. But then...
And there were some old people there as well, wasn't there?
There was some old, there was some really old people. There was some people who just turned around and they just went, and some guy was just in front of me. He just went, fuck this shit, man. I never signed up for this shit. And just turned around and just walked off. But in my mind, I'm just thinking, I've got a chance here to win $4.56 million. Come on, lad, come on. Think about your family, think about your daughter, think about it. You can do this. So I just stayed, but it was hard for some people, lad. I felt sorry for them, to be honest with you. Like what you said before, people that flew from all over the world. If you're coming from Australia, you're coming from New Zealand, you're talking like 24 hours to get here. Yeah.
Oh, lad, big time, yeah.
For them just to go out and red light, green light and see you later, you're going back home.
I think that was that one girl who on the Netflix show, she got caught doing a squat and everyone was like, oh my God, she couldn't hold a squat for 10 seconds. It wasn't 10 seconds, that's the whole thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's what was hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So my one, because I was more central, you were to the right. When I reckon I was 2 goals away from getting over. The clock was on 1:36, I think it was, when I got popped. And listen, I'd say it now, I don't feel like I moved, do you know what I mean? No more than anyone else moved.
Yeah.
So it was like a massive shock for me when I got popped. But the one thing that I remember feeling was, they shouted medic and they were like, everyone keep your feet where they are but relax a bit. And I remember, lad, there was probably maybe 20 people who'd crossed the line and the clock's on 1:36. I'm probably 15 metres away, 10 metres away, maybe 2 more goes of getting over. Someone collapsed or something, they bring a medic out and I look round and, lad, there was a lot of people still in the game, like a lot of people. And I remember saying to one of the staff before we went in, I said, how many did they need to get rid of here? And she was like, oh, good couple hundred to go at least. And I was looking around and thinking, there's more than 200 people here. Like, they need to start getting ruthless with this popping of people, do you know what I mean? And that's when I started thinking, they're going to have to start shooting people, even if they don't move, because there's too many people, lad.
Yeah.
There was too many people. And that's not me saying I don't deserve, listen, it happened, I'm one of them. But, like, there's a reason why people felt a little bit hard done by, do you know what I mean? Because I just don't think the team itself realised that people would take it, that would be that good at it maybe, do you know what I mean? Because, like you say, it's £4.5 million. People wanted to win it. So people weren't going to give up easy, do you know what I mean? That's my thoughts on it. I mean, what did you feel like as you were getting to the end and you were kind of getting closer and closer?
First of all, when I started red light, green light, I was the last person. I was right at the back.
Really?
That big, massive group photo that they've took where everyone's just like posing or whatever, if you look at it, I am right at the back. Because I said to myself, do you know what? I'm going to walk. Because I visualised like the size of a red light, green light. And I was like, if I walked at a normal pace, I could cross that in 5 minutes easy with time left. So that was my strategy anyway to the game. But, you know, there was... I seen little slight movements. I seen like certain people like moving when they were holding the pose and like the leg just went a little bit and then they grabbed it back and they never got popped. In my mind, I'm thinking like what are these people doing? But how are they moving to get popped? Because the only movements, the only time where I can think where my body even moved slightly was when I was in like a pose like that and me left leg was behind me and Andy, my leg was shaking. It was absolutely shaking, but because the tracksuits were baggy, I don't think they could see the shaking. And I was thinking to myself, like, and the only movement that I was doing all the time was my hands in my pockets because they can't see your hands moving in your pocket. So there was little slight movements, but I remember I was speaking to someone at the production, and I said to them, look, what will get you eliminated? What are we talking like movement wise? And they were saying, well, if it's blatant movement, yeah, then you're definitely getting popped. Yeah, but they said if it was a slight little movement where like, you know, your hands were like this and then you put them by your side, then that's probably not good enough for you to get popped. Like you're allowed to like blink, obviously, you're allowed to move your eyes and stuff like that, do like little tiny little things like that. It's not going to get you popped. But there was people around me getting popped. And I don't know, like, what type of movement they've done. Did you know what I mean? At one point, I swear down, I was like in the centre of all these people and I just heard and all of them around me got popped and they just dropped and I stood there and I was like, shit, thinking in my head, like, what have they done? Because I actually didn't see them move. What have they done? Have they moved their lips? Have they like moved their head slightly? Because I'm just looking at that doll or I'm looking straight. You know what I mean? So it was like, like, you know, like you said before, they must have thought, wow, these people are really good. So now we're just going to have to look for some type of little slight movement to get rid of these.
And I think that's where the conspiracy then comes in, because it's like, if they've got you down and think we want, you know, Mothi to be a bit of a character, we want him to go far in it, and they look at me and go, he's just cannon fodder, we don't really need him. And none of us both aren't moving, but they need to pop someone, then obviously they're going to pop me. And I completely accept that. And that's what a lot of people couldn't accept after we all got popped and we were on the coach on the way home. Oh, lad, there was murder.
I reckon you wouldn't have got popped, yeah, if you would have showed your leg.
Pulled me leg, probably.
Honestly, if they would have if you would have been out, because all eyes would have been on you. Now, I do understand, maybe you didn't want all that, you know, publicity on you, but I guarantee, if you would have walked out there with your thing up and people would have saw you, like, everyone would have been like, oh, what's your story? And if you would have told them your story, everyone would have been around you and they would have been like, we can't just get rid of this guy now. That's why in my mind, and you know, you should have milked that moment, bro. That was your moment to milk. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I don't want to come across like, oh, it's a serious thing that happened to you. You know what I mean? So I
know what you mean. It would have,
you know what
it would have definitely made it maybe a bit different, I guess.
I don't want people to start thinking, oh, he's only milking it because of this or whatever. But then me, I'm thinking to myself, bro, you went through something that you could have lost your life.
Yeah.
There's people here, there's Americans here who are all part of the military. These stories. There's everyone that's coming there that's got these stories. But it's like when they see you, they would have been like, man, do you know what? Like, honestly, you would have cruised it.
Well, I don't
sign up for Squid Game Challenge 2, bro. I'm going to milk it this time.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you my little bit then, and it'll come on to a bit which I don't know about then. So when I got popped, we're walking out, and I was like, don't get me wrong, lad, for 20 minutes, I was fuming because I'm a competitor, lad. I'm dead competitive. I was fucking gutted. Again, like you, thinking of me little girl, thinking if I had the money could have changed our lives, etc. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And also gutted because I thought I didn't move, felt a little bit hard done by. After half an hour, kind of calmed down a bit, was back on the coach, lad, everyone was fuming, like fuming. They're all moaning, did you see him move, blah blah blah. Get up for breakfast the next day, all these stories are coming out about people were apparently getting paid to go on it, influencers were getting asked to go on it, this happened, that happened, blah, all these stories. And at that point I'd checked out. I was just like, you know what, it's one of them, not really that asked. The next day, or maybe that late that afternoon, I got added to a group chat called Squid Game's The Nightmare.
You told me this, right?
And they're all going on, lads, about they've just spent 6 months in Antarctica fighting the polar bears. And I just let it go and go and go. And in the end, I just fucking snapped. I was like, fucking get over it. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be hard. Like, so what? You never... Anyway, to the point where they started to believe that I worked for Netflix and I was like a mole for like Studio Lambert.
Yeah.
And I was just like... And then they kicked me out the chat because I was giving them all shit. Because they put like the Sun newspaper up going... And I just said that newspaper's a rag. Doesn't get read anywhere in the UK.
Of course, yeah.
And then someone was like, I bet you he's a Scouser. I was just like...
Fuck off.
Honestly,
It's all that shit.
So I was I started giving them all shit saying, fucking, he's a fucking sore losers, get over it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, lad, and then that was my Squid Games over, lad. But then you obviously smash it, lad. Because you were behind me, lad, at that. So at what minute did you get over the line? Can you remember what was on the clock?
I think there might have been about... So it took me 5 hours to complete red light, green light. And do you know what? Not much. Less than a minute.
Yeah.
Definitely less than a minute.
So you've done another maybe, or maybe 45 seconds or something.
Yeah, that last pose, that last freeze, I swear down, was the longest one that I'd done. It was easily close to an hour.
Wow.
It was like 45 minutes. The line was right in front of me. The kid who I said, Alex from New Zealand, he was with me all the way. We crossed the line together and we met each other so that was boss with me because we had that bond. Soon as I crossed that line, it felt like I won the money.
Really?
It literally felt like it was like one of the biggest achievements.
The relief,
lad. -4. It was -4 in there. I don't care what anyone's saying. -4. We crossed that line, and then it was just like, you know, you see me. I've got my little moment there where I go, yes, get in, and I've got my hand on my head like that, and it was just the relief was just, oh man, it was incredible. And like the worst thing about it was, before I crossed the line, right, everybody who was in a line, they were all celebrating and the cameras were on them. Yeah, do it again. Let's all get a picture. Do it again. Way. And I'm standing there and I'm thinking, are you for real? Are you absolutely for real? Why can't all you just fuck off and just move and go? They're all celebrating like that. They're all talking. It was a big like, it was like they were putting us off. They were all putting us off because everyone who crossed that line, we all spoke about it and they were going, that was the worst thing that they ever could have done for all of us in that line, because they just kept on going on for 15, 20 minutes and taking pictures, and there was flashes and everything, and I'm just like, man, there's other people here playing the game.
Oh, what? So this was while other people were still in the game?
Yeah.
Shut up.
So that group of people that crossed the line before me, the cameras were all out on them. They were all taking pictures, they were all posing, they were all screaming, they were all shouting. And I was like, this is the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen. Because there's people here who were waiting to cross that line. And
still posing.
Still stood there, still like that. They're like that, yeah, and they're all shouting, like, yeah, that's great. But they're probably thinking, yeah, let's keep doing that. Because the more people that get eliminated, the better our odds are for winning the show. Because people were like that.
Yeah.
Everyone was thinking like that. Do you know what I mean? So all that went on, lad. All that went on for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes, and I just stood there. And then the next minute, they all just left. And it just went silent again. I was like, thank God. So I just stood there and I was thinking, I'm going to do this. And there was actually a few people who stayed there. They were like, come on, lad, you can do it. And then the next minute, boom, we got across. And everyone started celebrating and stuff like that. And I was like, yes, come on, get it. And people were all talking. And I literally turned around to like 30 people, 40 people that crossed around. And I just went, guys, everyone be quiet. And they all just looked at me and they all just went, I went, listen, everyone be quiet and just sit down. Bro, everyone went quiet and they all just sat down. I said, look, all these here, they've only got a couple of seconds to cross the line. They deserve to be here just as much as we do. You know how hard it's been for red light, green light. And everyone's like, yeah, you're right. And everyone just stayed silent.
Bossy that, lad.
And then the girl just turned around and went, right, guys, can we go out this side? So we all just went out. And then obviously...
Nice of you that, lad.
Do you know what I mean? Because I thought to myself, why would I don't want to do to these what the last group were doing. I'm not saying that it's the last group's fault, what they done. Obviously, the camera crew have all come out and went, make some noise and do all this. But I thought it's not fair. You know what I mean?
Right, lad, you've done the right thing there.
I done the Scouse thing, didn't I? That's all.
So this is all unknown territory to me now, lad. So you do it. You jump back on a coach and you went back to the hotel for the night, didn't you?
Yeah. Jumped on the coach, went back to the hotel, was absolutely starving. But because we finished so late, we were like some of the last groups to get back. And they all scrambled all the pizza and all the mackies and everything that was there. I was like, I'm absolutely starving. I want food. Got back. Someone said to me, I said, what time is it? And I'm sure someone said it's like 11:45. So I just went back, filled the bathtub up, was lying in the bath, and I was just thinking to myself, like, what the hell have I just been through? What have I just been through? Like, my body was aching. I was just there like that in the bath. And then I jumped in bed, knocked out straight away. No food, no nothing, just fell asleep straight away. But I think I got a knock on the door, but I didn't go to the door, couldn't be bothered. I just fell asleep through the knock, and apparently they brought me a Mackey's at fucking 4:30 in the morning. Do you know what I mean, lad?
Hello.
4:30 in the morning, and that was it, lad, and then I felt like that was that sleep. That was the first time since I'd been in London where when I closed my eyes, I was completely knocked out. And then obviously got the wake-up call at whatever time.
Because I saw a couple people, and I was like getting my phone going for brekkie, ready to go home type thing. You were all getting back on the coach to go back to set them.
Oh yeah, so sorry. So yeah, what happened with you then? As soon as you got on the coach and you went back to the hotel, did you stay or did you go straight back home that night?
No, so we got back probably like 8-9 o'clock or something like that. And then you just saw like the worst of people. Like, not doing the whole like we're scousers, we're dead sound thing, but like you've just done like the right thing and said don't rub it in their faces, blah blah blah. I got on the coach, everyone's moaning and bitching. I was a bit like one of them. We got back and there was a fella there going, I want my phone. And the poor staff, like all like the production team, were like just normal girls, like 20-year-old girls, you know what I mean? We're going, we've got to sort a lot of stuff. You get it first thing in the morning. And he's going, I want my phone now. And I felt like saying, lad, you were prepared to go 3 weeks without your phone? Like, why? And then there's another lad going, I'm going home tonight. I only live 20 minutes away. I want my stuff now. And they're going, it's all locked away. We can't get it for you. He's kicking off, going, I want to get home and see my daughter. I felt like saying, lad, if you'd got through, you would have been happy not seeing your daughter.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Just people were being knobs, lad, to them, all the staff.
Yeah.
I just went straight to bed, lad. I just fucking straight to bed. In fact, I tried to go to the bar, but the bar was shut. I just went straight to bed. Got my head down, woke up the next morning, went for brekkie. Got chatting to like my little group of people who I'd spoken to. Sounds. A few of us wanted to go for a beer. Went for a beer. That was it. I was like, I was alright with it, lad. But there was a lot of people lawyering up and stuff like that, lad. I was like, fucking get your head down. You know
I know.
It was embarrassing, lad.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, lad. I felt hard done by. But one of them, lad. Life's hard. Get over it.
I think what it is people signed the waiver. Once you sign that waiver, once you sign that, right, there's all bits in it that you should read through, because I mean, at the end of the day, like he said, it's not going to be easy winning that type of money. It's not going to be easy. If that red light, green light was just 5 minutes, I guarantee you, at least probably only 6-7 people would have went out.
Oh yeah, at least 400 people would have went through.
So yeah,
I ended up going on the ale all day with a few of the contestants. Had a good laugh.
I was gutted when you went out. That, to be honest with you, because I kept on turning, like when we had that moment where they were like, you can relax your body, and we relaxed a little bit, and I was turning around. I was like, where the fuck's Andy?
I was ahead of you, lad.
I was looking around, I was thinking, where is he? And then at one point, I spotted you, and then when we kept on going, I'd spot you again.
It got to a point, and you were like kind of a bit like more up to me, and I was thinking, lad, we're both going to do this here.
Yeah.
And then, so anyway, right, enough about me. So you go on to the coach.
Yeah.
Back to set. Is it the same place, is it?
Nah, it was a different place. So they took us to these studios. I said Pinewood. Was it Pinewood Studios? So I can't remember. They took us to a studio, and it was nice and warm inside. So that was a relief. And then we went inside, and it was the same thing. They just had us in groups of like 30. And we all went inside our little rooms, and then when we got inside there, everyone was just like talking about red light, green light, and now we've all passed now, and now we're all getting into the dorms, and there was a few faces who we knew from when we was in the army base, and a few people from the hotel, and then that's when you start having proper conversations with people. That's when you start getting to know like what people do for work and
kids and families
and all
that,
stuff like that. You know, you're getting mic'd up and you're getting your little bum bag and your water bottle. So everyone's just chatting to each other and just introducing themselves and just having a laugh, really. You know what I mean? And then that went on for about 2 hours. And then we all just got put in lines. And then we all just walked outside. And then we were all just waiting to go inside. And then that's it. We went inside the dorm and we seen it. And I was just like, fucking hell, this is sick. My mind was blown because I was like, I've in my eyes, I've made it now. I've made it. I'm in the dorm. And everyone's just going crazy. So people weren't picking beds as soon as we went in. Everyone was just at the bottom bit, just all talking. Everyone just walking around and then it was crazy, man. It was surreal, bro. It was absolutely surreal when we was in there. And I got talking to like this lad from Dubai, and didn't meet him like any in red light, green lights, or when we was getting mic'd up. And then he was just like, let's go and be like bunk bed partners or whatever. Yeah. And then we just went and found a bed, and then we were just, I wasn't near anyone who I spoke to. I was just next to all like people who I've never met before. Wow. But then just started speaking to them. I was next to like, I had Abood from Dubai. I had Felicia, who got really far. She went out in marbles. And then I had a lad from Barnsley. I had a lad from Hull. I had Alex from London. I had Joy from France. That Hussein lad was in front of me, the one who went out when he picked up the phone. Yeah. And then I had like a Moroccan lad. I had a Turkish lad. Like, it was all different.
That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, boss.
That's boss.
Boss, yeah.
So, at any point, what's your mind? Are you thinking like, I don't know, I want to win this money? Are you still just happy to be there? Are you thinking alliances? Are you thinking what's coming next? Do you think like what is going through your head?
Do you know what? It was like, well, as soon as you get in the dorms, it's like, okay, what's the next thing? What's going to happen? When's the next game? We've gone inside and I went, when's the next game? Or are we going to play the next game straight away? What is the next game? And
are you speaking to the production staff, or is this just you, the contestants, speaking?
No, this is me talking with the other players. But this is what I'm thinking in my head. Like, when are they going to throw this next game on us? Is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen later? And then some players like, no, I don't think it's going to happen today. I think today is just all of us just mingling, getting to know each other. You know, obviously, you know, just meeting players and where we're going to be sleeping, and that's basically it. And that's what happened on that first day, because, you know, my time on the show, it feels like I was there and I was gone, but I was actually there for 1.5 days.
So you done a night there?
So I done a night there, and then I done a full day. So, you know, you're just running on adrenaline. You just don't know when the games are going to come. You don't know what's going to happen next. The guards are coming out and talking and saying this and saying that, and there's going to be chores and players are going to get picked to do this and that. So you just, everything's just like, it's weird, lad. I'm having conversations with people, yeah, and I really I can't even remember half the conversations because your body's just running on adrenaline. Some people were that tired. We were just like keeping ourselves up by just like, oh, so where are you from? Are you from Mexico? Oh, okay, great, yeah. So what's your name? And you just there, you're like, yeah. And in your mind, you're just like,
yeah, like I'm not asked. I've switched off like half an hour ago type thing.
Yeah, lad, it's weird. Did
you have any chores to do then, did you? Or like,
nah, I never got one chore, to be honest with you.
What were they like? Just food or something, or like dishes and stuff?
Yeah, going to like wash dishes and peel potatoes and stuff like that. And I think most of them were washing dishes, but...
And the staff, the production team are nowhere to be seen at this point. It's just all the players together now.
No, so you do see production. They'll walk in with the mask on and they'll just walk around and they're just like, hi, you're okay. So we did get to speak to them. They were walking around, we were speaking to them. Obviously they had the guards just for show, doing what they're doing. But the runners, that's what they call them, runners, innit? They were like, hi guys, are things okay? And I was like, yeah, if we had any questions for them, like, oh, we're really hungry, what time's food gonna come? And they'll be like, oh, we're not sure, but it'll be coming soon. And is there anything that you need? And some people are like, I've got a headache, and they're like, come round to the back, we'll give you the paracetamol. My voice went during the show, and they were just giving people like lozenges and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So little things like that, they still were there just walking around, and they'd come and grab you, you know what I mean, to take you into the, to do the MIVs. That's what they call the MIVs, where you sit in front of the camera and they're like, so player 200, what was it like when you entered the dorm? And you're like, oh yeah, it was great and that, and whatever, and how did you feel when the doors opened for red light, green light? So we had our moments. You know with the players as well. I mean, I know you're only there the first day, but is there any like animosity? Is there any atmosphere, or is everyone just buzzing? I mean, so I'd say the majority of the time the atmosphere was absolutely incredible. Everyone was just getting to know each other. People would make a footy out of t-shirts, start playing like a little bit of heads and balls or whatever. Everyone tied their jackets together, and people were playing volleyball. So we were all, it was boss lad. Everyone's interacting with each other. I was playing drama games, so there was a few games that I learnt in drama, and where I'd start off with like a group of 10 players, that turned into like a group of 60 players, where I'm in the middle. And I've got a big circle around me, and I was playing a game called Sheriff, which is like a game where I don't know if you've ever heard about it. You like point at someone and say bang, and they've got a duck, and then the players either side of them have got to say bang and shoot each other as fast as they can. Right. Okay. So it's a game of like elimination. Do you know what I mean? So I was doing games like that, and there were some people, they don't play a 4-3-2. You don't 4-3-2. Just bellend him. So 4-3-2 was exactly the way he was. Was he? Yeah. On screen when he was in there, like he was going around with his hands down his kecks and that. And he was just like going around like, what are you doing? And they're like, nah, that ain't for me. Doing all stuff like that. And he was like trying to be like that big boy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I was playing that Sheriff game, 60 players strong. Everyone's loving the game. Everyone's loving Mothi B. They're just loving it. Yeah, like, oh my God, this is the best game I've ever played. So he's come over and he's gone, man, I got this game to play. Y'all want to play? Y'all want to play this game? And everyone's like, all right, what is it? So he's explained it, and everyone's just gone, nah, we're all right, that this is everybody. Like, nah, we're okay. We want to play this game. And then do you know what he done? He looked at me and he went, man, this game is shit, man. This game is whack, and just turned around and just went off and in his little part and just stood there like that with his hands down his kecks, just looking. And I'm thinking, what a fucking bellend. Yeah. And everyone was calling him a proper bellend. Anyway, we continue playing our game. My game must have went on for about an hour, right? And it's like that right there was, now that I think back, I think to myself, maybe I put a target on me back. Do you know what I mean? Because there was a lot of people that was sitting there and watching, and they were all like laughing and clapping their hands and stuff like that. But they were probably looking, thinking, how was this Indian Scouse kid, right, stood in the middle with 60 players around him, commanding a game and getting people to sit down, and then playing games like other movement games. Do you know, where you've got to stay silent. Definitely put a marker on yourself there. This is what I'm saying. This is one, but I wasn't the only one who was playing games. There was other people in the corners. There was people doing choreography. Right guys, we're going to do this dance right now, so I want you to do this and blah. And then they're over there doing the cheerleading. There was a lot of people that was still doing. See, if this was me at this point, I just would have been the grey man. I just would have found a couple of people to talk to, sat off on a bed, and but don't forget, Andy. This is a full 24-hour day. Yeah, suppose, and then the next day, I was there for like at least another 13 hours. Same again, yeah. So what are you supposed to do when people are sat there bored? Do Do you know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying.
No,
It's
yeah,
like,
lad, listen, you've done it, not me. Yeah.
the camera's on you 24/7. You're mic'd up 24/7. You're going around talking to people, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people who I thought, man, you should have got camera time. And they went 6-7 episodes deep. They never got no camera time.
Well, just because of the stories and the personality.
Yeah, because their personality, what I saw, I was like, oh, he's dead cool. Do you know what I mean? Those people who got dead far, right? And all they've got of them is like them just turning around and putting their hand on the mouth. And look how long I was in it. And I got an episode at least. Do you know what I mean? I got that moment.
Yeah.
And obviously, it was harsh the way it happened. But, you know,
before we go on to you then, so
Yeah.
you say like the good bits that happen, and so what was there arguments and all that even in that first 24 hours? Could you see like a bit of tensions flaring and stuff with maybe, I don't know, nationalities or with like groups?
the only one, honestly, it's mad because the only times I heard of like 2 things happening inside there was with that player 432. So the player 432 and 198, I think it was, Hussein, they had beef. Yeah. So
That's on the Netflix bit, isn't it?
That's on the
Yeah.
Netflix bit. So Hussain's come over to me and he's gone and he's like, yo, you know what that player 432's just said to me? And I was like, what? He goes, well, I just called him a frat boy, didn't I? And he goes, and he just turned around and goes, I'm going to snap you in half. And he basically just said, when you get out of this show, yeah, when I meet you after this show, he was like, it's on. That's what he was saying to them. Because I'm not going to do nothing now. But then after him, yeah, it's on. And he was going, all right, then you frat boy. Because he's known for just saying and doing things, whatever he feels like. If you've seen his TikTok, like the kid doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that's the only thing that I saw. And then when player 432 said something to a girl, but he told her to fuck off or something like that, and then she came back to me. Like, these are people who were staying next to me and came to me, and I was like, are you all right? And she was like, it was Felicia, the one who went out in marbles. She was like, yeah, they were all playing rock, paper, scissors, and I got involved as well. And, you know, and then I lost, and he turned around and he called me like a bitch or something like that.
My 9-year-old daughter looked at that and thought, he's a fucking knob, do you know what I mean? Like, my little girl was like, I don't like him.
Everyone messaged me and said the same thing. They went, that 432 is an absolute bellend, but it's good for TV.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They like bellends for TV. It's good for ratings, innit?
So, the harsh bit then, lad.
The harsh bit.
The harsh bit.
Can you do that thing where it goes doo-doo, and it goes all black and white and the tears come down?
Get our producer Musk to do that for you, lad, right? I'm made up thinking he's in, flying. He's flying the Scouse flag, happy days.
Yeah.
Then when I spoke to you, however many weeks later or months later, you're like, I went out after you, and I'm like, what? Couldn't believe it. How did that happen?
So, when we entered the dorm, the voice that just comes on over the speakers, she said, welcome players, blah, 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 blah. Show you the board, all the players that went out. It's gone to 197. The piggy banks come down. The money starts dropping. I'm there like thinking, oh my God, this is real. This is absolutely real. Yes, I'm taking that money. All that's happened, yeah. And then they've turned around and gone, players, there's going to be tests that are going to take place in the dorms. There's things that you've got to do like chores. And then one of these tests is going to test your character. And basically it's going to give you the power to either give this player an advantage in the next game or to eliminate them. Okay, so everyone's there like, ooh, fucking hell. Bloody hell, like, I'm thinking, what type of tests are these? And what, we're going to be able to eliminate players? So it's not the games that decide that. Like, if you break the cookie, that's it, it's your time to go home. So you're telling me my life is in the hand of other players. Have got the choice to just go, you're going to go. When I heard that, I was like, shit, you know what I mean? Like, I this could be me. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of people know me. Do you know what I mean? And like, I'm just like a hypo guy. Do you know what I mean? But then I thought, all right, forget it, whatever. So obviously spent a night in the dorms. Next day, just pottering about, having your food, doing whatever. So then it's got to a point where it's late now, yeah. So I've just climbed up and I'm just lying down in my bed, yeah, with just my eyes closed, yeah. Next minute, the violin, the doors are open, the guards have come out, and I'm just lying in bed, just thinking, I can't even be asked getting out of bed. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just there. So all the players have gone over. Some players are just pottering about, just like that, just watching. And I just thought, I might as well just get up anyway. So then I've got up, yeah, and it was silent, yeah. I've had me Vans, dropped them, and they just gone bang and made a loud noise, and everyone's just gone like that, and looked at me, and I've just gone, sorry. And then people have just started laughing, put it on, walked down, and then just sat on the step. So I'm just standing there, and I was like, players.
So on this then, sorry, is the staff not coming out and saying this is what's going to happen? Like, this is all just live now?
No, there's no staff or nothing like that. It's just the guards that just come out.
Almost just like you see it on the telly.
Yeah. So we don't know. We don't know what's coming. For all we know, it's the cookie game. So then I've come down. I've just sat on the step, yeah, and I'm just there, and I'm just looking, and they've obviously spoken. They went, so one of these tests have already taken place, and we told you that these players had the opportunity to either give you an advantage or to eliminate. And he just went, these players have decided to eliminate. And everyone's just gone, oh, bloody hell. And I've just sat there and I've just thought to myself, I honestly, Andy, I'm not even joking. I sat there and thought to myself, I think this is going to be me. I think this is going to be me. So I've just sat there, yeah, obviously zipped up my thing, yeah. And he went, it's going to be taking place right now. So then I've looked up at the screen, yeah, and then it's gone. See the way it's got the numbers? So it's got like brackets above each number. So the 3 brackets have come up. So as soon as those 3 brackets have come up, all right, it could have been player number 9, so it would be 009. But because it's 3 brackets, I've thought to myself straight away, okay, so this is going to be a player who's got 3 digits, right? So it possibly can be me. So I'm looking around and I'm thinking, who could it be? Who could he get rid of? Yeah, it could be 432 because nobody likes him. Could be him. And I'm looking around and thinking, who else could he get rid of anyway? So I've just sat there and I've just looked, yeah. So the numbers have started rolling. The numbers were rolling for a long time, by the way. Not like the way you see it on the telly. It was rolling for a long time. Felt like a lifetime. They started rolling, boom, the first one, 2. Soon as the first one went to 2, there was a group sitting next to me and I just looked and smiled and I just went, and some girl called Cheney, who's in it, she tapped me, I think it was Cheney, she tapped me on the thing, she was like, don't worry, honey, it's not you. Because I was cool with all of these. And they would, you know, like we all made like a little friendships and that, and they knew that, like I was just sound and that. She was like, don't worry, Harry, it's not you. And I was like, and I just sat there like that with my face forward, not even looking at the thing. So you don't see all this, you don't see all my demeanor the way I was, and I just had a smile like that. And then I saw it like number 2 and it's gone to 0, and then everybody knew when it went to 2-0, they were like fuck, is it Mothi? So everyone's looked at me. Number 432, yeah, the cheeky bastard, you know what he done? Yeah, he's come over to me. He knew what number I was. But he's come over and he's looked at my number, right? And he's just gone, I'll do this for the camera. He's looked at my number and he's just gone, shit. I just turned around like that and I've looked at him and I've gone, you fucking little bellend. Do you know what I mean? So I just sat there, yeah. So there's another lad called Elliot who is, I think he's Australian, or he could be from New Zealand. So Elliot's gone to me. Elliot's gone, come over here, right? So everyone's like all like got together. There's like a big, massive, they made a runway. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's there like that. And I've come down and then Elliot's put my arm around me and Elliot's gone, it's nice knowing you. And I went, Elliot, it's not you, lad. I said, it's not you. And he goes, it could be. I went, listen, lad, I know it's not you because you're not a threat in this game. I said, it's 100% me, so don't worry about it. So the number's just spinning for ages, yeah? And the next minute, it just went 1, which was it. I think he was 201, and then it just went down and went to 0. And then there was a big grasp from everyone. And me, I just went and gave him a hug. I went, it's all right, it's okay. Turned to the side. The people who I made friendships with, they were all gutted. A girl called Joey was crying. A lad called Josh from Colorado, who I was good mates with. He was crying his eyes out, so I gave him a hug, give Joy a hug. Everyone around me were like that. They were like, nah, man, that's bad. Loads of people were saying that's a fucking scumbag move. The Scottish girl from Australia, she was crying her eyes out. This person was crying. All these people were coming forward. Some people had like little smarmy comments. Like this American guy was like, yeah, man, do you know what though? You were the sheriff, man. You smashed it as the sheriff. And I'm just thinking, shut up, you fucking dickhead. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, blessing loads of people up and stuff like that, yeah. So as the guards come to like grab me, right, every single person, yeah, started going, Mothi, Mothi, Mothi. Everyone had their hands up like that, right? You know what I mean? You don't see all of this. And I've just turned around and just gone like that and just put my hand up like that and just went, nice one, guys, nice one. And everyone's going, Mothi, Mothi, all like that. And I've turned around and then it's like people who like, literally who I met for a couple of hours, I looked at them and they were crying. They had tears in their eyes. And then obviously I walked out and then they said to me like, later on, they said to me, they went, mate, when the money dropped for you, not one person cheered. Everyone started booing. Like, people were still crying, still booing, walking around like, what the hell's gone on there? How the hell have they got rid of him? And some people were saying, you know what, though? He was a threat in this. That some people were saying he probably would have won it. That's what people were saying about me. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I've left, met one of the producers. Her name was Holly Woods, right? And she's turned around to me and she's gone, hey, I'm really sorry and stuff like that, and how'd you feel? And I just looked at her and I went, I've a mix of emotions, to be honest with you. She was like, okay, we're going to take you in the mid room and just sit down. And so that's when you see me going, you know, talking like, you know, I'm gutted and I just wanted a better life for my daughter and my family. But I guess that's just the way it is, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. And then I left and then spoke to another two producers. And I turned around to her and I was like, did I say anything wrong? Did I do something? And they turned around to me and they went, no, you actually never put a foot wrong. You was actually the nicest person in there. And I don't just mean like with the players, and you were funny and you were confident, but all our staff from Studio Lambert all spoke about you. Do you know what I mean? And how much of a gentleman that you was, and you'd always say hello to them, and are you guys okay? And how are you finding it doing this? And are you tired? And have you set? And just like little things like that, you know, just
conversation with them.
Just making, you know what I mean? And because there's times when you leave where you've got to sit down and do this and do that, and then you go back inside the dorms. But it's just like, what's happening, lad? You're okay? Because they look exhausted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you all right? And that, you know what I mean? And they're looking at me thinking, wow, fucking hell, how's this kid got this energy? So they were just like, no, they were saying, you were absolutely fantastic. Everyone loved you. And don't worry, this is just going to be the beginning of a lot of brilliant things that's going to happen for you. I was like, great. So then I've left. There's a line of people clapping for me. There's a V-class waiting for me. They've got me all food and chocolates and everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't worry, and we're going to be in touch. So I've sat inside. They've took me to a different hotel. They took me to the Marriott. It was all nice and posh. I've gone inside, they give me a £25 voucher, went to the bar, got myself a drink, got a nice chicken Caesar salad and got like a burger on the side. Met this other girl called Dominique who volunteered to leave because her sister went out and red light, green light, so she didn't want her sister to go back to LA by herself.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah.
I met
So
them
you didn't
there.
see that, did you?
Yeah, you didn't see that. Apparently, he was supposed to be in it, but it wasn't. Met her. Spoke to her for a bit. She's fit, by the way. Anyway, and then that was it. And then went to bed, got my head down, woke up the next, had all my phone and everything, come downstairs, and then spoke to a couple of people from the production, and then spoke to like the Psyche or wherever he is. And he was just like, everyone told me about your elimination and it's really harsh, you know, this, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we're here for you if you need us. But, you know, from what I've heard, you know, you're a great lad and you have got a future in, like, performing and things like that. So use it to your advantage, you know what I mean? And that's basically it, lad. You know what I mean?
So at what point did you know who it was that voted you out then?
When she got eliminated from the show, she reached out to me.
How did everyone have each other's number and stuff?
So,
Because I guess if you're all leaving at different times and stuff.
so a lot of the people who I was who I made like friends with and that when I was in there, a lot of them went out in the cookie game, especially the ones that got the umbrella. So they reached out to me through Instagram.
Okay.
Right, so Alex reached out to me because he went out. Josh, the lad from Colorado, he reached out to me. He was the first. He rang me. Right, he FaceTimed me. Or sorry, the Instagram video call. And he was already in Colorado. I was like, lad, what the hell's going on here? I said, what happened? He goes, oh man, I went out in the cookie game. I said, you're home already? He was like, yeah, I'm home. He goes, I went straight away. I had to get a flight and get straight back.
It's only like a day or two after you type thing?
Literally the next day. Do you know what I mean? So they played. So I went back to the hotel at around, I think it was like, it was late anyway. It was late evening. And then the next day, I went back to Liverpool. And then they must have played the cookie game that day. Oh. And then they got all eliminated. I went back to the hotel at a certain time.
So probably the day after you've got back in the pool, he's on a flight home, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and then everyone's then linked up on Instagram, exchanged numbers, and then a group chat's formed.
We was all in a group chat, and then basically it's just started from there. And then who was it? Somebody said the girl who eliminated you wants to send you a message. She wants to reach out to you. And I thought, okay, yeah, fine.
How did you feel straight away thinking about that? Because I think you could take it, personally, for me. If you lose on a game... I
took it like you.
Yeah.
I took it like you. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? I said to myself, because I already said to myself, I know why you got eliminated, lad. You were a threat there, lad. You was a major threat. Do you know what I mean? That's why you got eliminated. That's why they chose you. So it is what it is. So then Danny, her name's Danny, I give my number to, I can't remember who I give it to, but they said to me, look, she really wants to reach out to you because she's in bits. She is absolutely devastated. Like, she is literally like, she's depressed about it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, nah, I don't want, why do I want someone feeling depressed? Why do I want someone feeling down and crying? I'm not one of them, like, ha, 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 ha. Do you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, go ahead, send me a message, reach out to me, no problem. So she's messaged me, sent me this long message, and she literally sounded like she had been crying, and she was on her way to the airport, or she was at the airport, and she was like, you know, I'm really sorry, and I had to reach out to you, and I was one of the players that eliminated you, and later on I found out how much of a good guy and how you know, you're a good guy that you was and charismatic, and everybody loved you so much. And I realised, I was like, shit, I've got rid of somebody here who I've took his opportunity away from him. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, and things like that. And, you know, and she told me about it, and I messaged her straight away. And I don't know what it is, Andy. Like, at the time, when I went back to the hotel, when I got eliminated, I was down. But by the time I got on that train and I was going back to Liverpool, I was back to the same me again. I literally just I don't let things, like it's weird. Like, I'm talking like things that have happened in my life where it'll put people down and out, right? Which I've got loads of things that's happened to me. I haven't let it get to me.
Good.
Do you know what I mean? So when she messaged me, I just messaged her back and went, Danny, look, you know, it's a game. It is what it is. Yeah, and you got put in a situation, what you had to do, and unfortunately it was me. I said, and you know, unfortunately you haven't got that opportunity to go forward because now you're back on a flight going home. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The last thing I said was in the episode was, I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And for her and the lad with the mullet, the cookie crumbled. How ironic, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I reached out to her and
it's good that you could be the bigger man as well. You know, this is me being a bit cynical. You don't have to say anything, but you know the way I've kind of, and we've both kind of said that red light, green light was a bit, you could move, you couldn't move. It was essentially down to the production team. Do you think any of the team had an impact on her, or do you think it was just her? Because in the episode you see two of them deciding. Yeah. Do you think there was any other like, oh, what about him? Have you thought about him? Do you reckon? Or...
Yeah, do you know what, to be honest with you? And like, even like talking to like my family and talking about people who have watched the episode, they've even turned around and went, lad, how the hell have they eliminated you? Out of all the players that they could have chose, 4-3-2, they could have split up the, like they said, they could have split up the mum
and
the son, because that's a strong alliance, a strong bond. They could have got rid of this person, that person. In my mind, I was thinking to myself, like, this doesn't make any sense. How has my number got thrown in there? Have they been, oh yeah, let's just get rid of the good guy because he was good with everyone. It's great for television. Do you know what I mean? And then we'll give them their moments. And they did get their moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they were in, where after the show, they were in that interrogation room where they asked them questions like, yes, you know, my name's Danny and I've been through this. And, you know, the mullet lad, what was his name? Mike or something. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm from Kentucky and blah, blah, blah. It's like they got their moments to eliminate me. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really know how it's happened, but I do. You know how TV works. You know how reality TV works. And they will.
I'll say it, lad.
They will do things for ratings.
I will say it, lad. It wouldn't surprise me if, in those moments, when they're saying, "Oh, how do you feel about this?" It wouldn't surprise me if they've went to that girl, "Oh, what are your views on 432? What are your views on 200? What are your views?" And just putting things in their head. You know what I mean? Because to me, from what you've said and what I've seen of it, I think it'd be so random for her to just go, "Yeah, 200, yeah."
And for him. Do you know what I mean? And for him to do that as well. And then, but then things stick in my head, like things like being a leader in the dorm, playing the games. Maybe did they speak about that? Because they do edit a lot of things. All they said about me. Yeah. What about 200?
That's what I mean.
He's going around talking he's going around talking to people. Wow. Yeah. That's what all the other 197 or 198 were doing.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking.
It wouldn't surprise. Going on, just proper yes or no. Do you think it's a fix?
Yeah. To a certain point. Yeah.
I think
I do. I think there was never, no way a British person was going to win it.
Oh yeah.
No way a Scouser was going to win it.
Yeah.
Hell no. It's an American show.
Yeah.
It's $4.56 million. Do you know what I mean? Every single person that has got all the camera time, they're all Americans. There's one British girl, shout out to B, because she was lovely. And well done for her for getting all the publicity and what she's doing. Like, you know, I'm made up for the girl. She's a lovely girl. Do you know what I mean? But
B's the girl with the yellow in her hair.
The yellow hair.
Yeah. Like
but
her, yeah.
She's like the only person. Amanda got her flowers a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But it's like...
So then Amanda got to like the last 9. You don't see... I don't think half as much of it. I think the one thing I remember was she saying she was in the Navy and maybe people underestimated her.
Yeah,
probably the only
yeah. And then the part what she had with let's keep all the
girl alliance,
the girl alliance and stuff. But other than that, it's like, you know,
I agree with you on
she should have got more.
Yeah,
but like I said, it's for the Americans. That's what. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bad mouthing the Americans. I'm not bad mouthing the players or anything like that because I'm mates with them. We talk all the time. But even they have said it is Americanized. Yeah, you would think that it was shot in America.
Yeah. It wouldn't make any sense for, I don't know, someone from New Zealand to win. Let's be honest with it.
No, or an Australian to win. You know.
On that note, then, what's kind of, for you or even any of your mates, what's kind of come on the back of it then? Has there been like this whole kind of, I don't know, Netflix Squid Game tour thing? You know, has there been like opportunities on the back of it? I mean, has life just gone back to normal? Has life changed?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because, I mean, I always go back to my normal life. I always go back to work and stuff like that, Andy. But like, I started a new Instagram page, like from scratch. And to be honest with you, like, I've had it for 2 weeks and I've got 1,000 followers. So if you think about it, 1,000 followers in 2 weeks, when my old Instagram, what I had for years, only had 3,000, I think to myself, well, that's a good start. At least that's got growth. People are reaching out to me. Do you want to jump on a podcast? I done Hot Water Green Room podcast with Tony and Jamie. Yeah, that was funny. That was really funny.
I think I'm on that soon, actually. You've asked me.
Yeah, you should. Yeah,
funny lads.
Yeah. And I've had people reach out to me from radio stations. I've had someone reach out to me from like South Africa, from like India. Would you like to do like a Zoom interview and talk about Squid Game? There's other lads, other players who do like podcasts and they want me to jump on things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But which is it's nice to do. I like doing these things. So I wouldn't say it's opened the doors to the opportunities that I want to do. The main things that I want to do is stuff like presenting. I really think that I've got that. I've got that.
The energy, definitely.
I've got that presenting thing. So yeah, I'd like to do more presenting. I would definitely love to have my own podcast and have it where it's themed, a themed podcast that's just about like certain topics. You know what I mean? And make that as funny as I can.
Definitely got the personality for it, lad.
Yeah, nice one, Andy, lad. Nice one.
It's been mad, that, hasn't it, lad? Think about it, like, what I think's mad about that, we've sat for however long, but it's literally probably been like 4 or 5 days of your life, do you know what I mean? And like you say, you've had a whole life before where you've had ups and downs and, you know, and yeah, it was intense, wasn't it? Think about it.
Yeah, it's
a lot of emotion, just a few days.
Yeah, when you think about it, it is. I mean, I get recognised and things like that, but you know, now I'm getting recognised for the lad who went out first. But I think to myself, like, I never went out first though.
Fucking Andy for coming out first.
I actually never. In the dorms, yeah, okay, I did.
Yeah,
but then, you know, it's
you got through 50% of it, lad, more than 50%.
I'm proud of myself because I never got eliminated from playing the games.
Yeah, yeah.
I got eliminated because players looked at me and saw me as a threat.
Yeah. And listen, lad, you were a great entertainment. You're in there, lad, so...
Nice one.
I enjoyed watching that, lad.
Even before, the whole thing, even us just having a laugh, like, getting mic'd up.
So nice to see you, lad, in there.
Yeah,
I just hear another... And that's what's great about the Scouse, you know, accent. You think, wherever you are in the world, once you hear that, it's like... gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling, thinking I'm not the only one here, so...
Yeah. I wish I could have carried the flag even further. Obviously, Amanda did, and she's done absolutely fantastic. I'm so proud of her. She's a very, very good mate of mine now. We do a lot of things outside, out since the show. We've oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to say so. We've done a Q&A in Manchester for an event called For the Love of Sci-Fi, right? She got us the gig. We was on the stage for 10 minutes. We done a Q&A in front of like a couple of 100 people, and it was mad because have you seen The Boys on Amazon Prime? Which is like, it's like a superhero series, but they're all bad.
No,
but it's absolutely massive. All the actors from there were there. Loads of actors from Star Trek, Deep Space Nine were there. A few actors from Gotham.
That's nice to hear. Like,
little things like that. You're there, and then you see them, and then you're on stage talking about Squid Game, and it's just boss little things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you said there about your Instagram. What is your Instagram in case people watch this and want to get hold of you?
Right, so it's Mothi, spelled MOTHI _200. Okay, so Mothi is my real name because my family's from India, and because I was born and raised in Liverpool, everyone just always call me Mothi. You're not going to meet a Scouser who's going to be like, oh yeah, guess what, lad? I was out the other day with Mothi. You know, it doesn't roll off the tongue, does it? Just like, yeah, I was out with Mothi. So it's MOTHI _200. That's the Instagram handle.
See you, lads.
Yes, Andy.
Thank you enough, lads.
Nice one, bro.
Thanks so much for your time,
Appreciate it, man.
Don't forget, reach out to him and any Squid Game stuff related. Yeah, I'm sure he'll answer all your questions. But nice one, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
See you later. Bye.